Welcome to Late Night Chat with JT and Nico, episode 52.
Welcome back, everybody.
What's up, Nico?
I'm all right. How you doing? How you feeling? A little under the weather?
I'm always fucking under the I hate this fucking weather, man. I gotta move to a fucking hotter country. I love Canada, man, but it's fucking me up. See, I can't even put the headphones on the proper way.
I think it's your big head.
Yeah, fuck off.
Don't blame it on the weather.
You know, the other day when I told you...
Don't blame it on the rain. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, you know what I told you the other day when I can't figure out how I keep getting this bump on my head? Now you've seen why, because I don't even realize I'm hitting things.
You know, if we weren't in the size of like a shoebox here trying to get everything put together, it would help too.
Objects in the camera are larger than they appear. No, or the other way around.
Yeah, I hear what you said. Yeah, your head is larger than it actually appears on camera.
It is. My head looks like the normal size right now to Nico's head. And then once we actually sit back in the proper position, if I come close, look at the size difference, guys. Now you got to watch the YouTube
coming
video
right at you.
One.
Yeah, coming right at you.
Yeah, speaking of watching the YouTube video, come on, guys. You guys got to hit subscribe. Just don't watch.
Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so we check our stats every now and then, guys. We're able to access that stuff, and I see that there is a percentage of people that are watching the videos that aren't actually subscribed. So, like, hit that subscribe button. Take the moment if you don't have a YouTube account. If you don't, you're a big fucking loser. First of all,
you know what? What are you talking about? I didn't have a YouTube account until I started.
Exactly.
This thing, so fuck off. All right.
Exactly. Now look how popular are. You got a fucking podcast. You didn't even know what a fucking podcast was. You're just like,
I didn't even know I can link all these accounts all together in one.
Look how far you came. A year down the road now, you're posting the podcast. You're fucking talking into an expensive mic. I don't know what's going on over here with you, but
I always talking to expensive mics, my friend.
Ew. I don't even know what that means.
Neither do I. It just sounded good. Maybe if it was coming out from a girl's mouth or something, it would have sounded better. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, whatever. Let's just roll with it.
That's it.
But yeah, hit subscribe, guys. Listen, you're missing out on these shenanigans live and in person. No, honestly, you gotta hit subscribe. You make a YouTube account if you guys don't have one. It takes a second, right? It takes a second out of your day. It makes us happy. Makes us continue this. We got to get over this hump of like 25 people or something. That's not much. Subscribe, right? You know what? It's something. Loyal, and thank you to those 25 people.
Yeah,
but
they're loyal, so at least they're still there. They haven't hit subscribe yet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens after this.
Yeah, after this one. You're gonna click thumbs down.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Have we got any thumbs down? I don't know if we have. You know, that's a thing you could do on YouTube, right?
No, I didn't know that. I know
you can hit the thumbs down.
Yeah, you can hit the like one.
No, you can hit the not liked one too.
Oh, fuck that. That'd be crazy. Just go around hitting everybody's on. No, but that wouldn't work out good for people. What if you didn't like the person that you were,
Oh, that's why.
Hitting not like. No, but as a person, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you can do. You feel free what you. Well, yeah. Now we're really gonna get that. I don't fucking like these guys.
Oh man.
So what's up? Other than you being a sick old
fucking. You know what?
Dog.
I was feeling great. I was starting to feel good, man. And then I think it's just too much. When you take too many, medications, sometimes it reacts differently with other shit in your body.
Sure you don't have coronavirus? Get away from me, Jay.
I still haven't. I'm still yet to cough, buddy.
Yeah.
You might hear a little smoker's cough from me, but they hooked me up with some more prednisone. Yeehaw! But I fucking hate that shit, man.
Yeehaw has become like your catchphrase on this show.
That's it, man. I told you, I'm turning hillbilly slowly. It's all the hillbilly in my blood now.
Yeah.
That's
right.
I'm the only one keeping them Torontonian. Big city boy, and then and then all up in the boonies, doing nothing. Like we're supposed to get more snow than you this week, guys. How does that work?
I saw we're supposed to get hit on Saturday. Yeah.
We're supposed to get hit tonight, overnight.
Oh fuck! It is tonight. You're right. Damn.
It's tonight.
All right, we gotta wrap this up. Let's
man. Fuck. After midnight, they're gonna be. They said it's supposed to start, but they're saying more snow here than up where everybody else is, and that's where they're supposed to ski. The only thing difference.
We've been pretty fortunate so far this winter.
Well, you know what?
Come on, we barely got any snow.
No, but if you think about it, we've actually gotten more snow than everybody else. It's just it doesn't stick around longer than 2 days.
Mhm.
It doesn't stay on the ground.
Mhm.
I mean, if you go up north, you're gonna see the snow from the original snowfall that year,
Right.
this year, right?
Right.
Just because it stayed under the freezing mark, right?
Mhm.
Because we're so friggin' close to the lake,
Mhm.
we're getting all that warm weather, right?
Mhm.
The lake hasn't frozen over yet, nothing. So it's all right. We'll have enough. If I hear anybody complain we don't have enough water this year,
Right.
right? Like the drought, unless we get no rain whatsoever this summer, I'm pretty sure we'll have enough water in the city this year, right? You know, they pumping it all up to Bradford. Fuck that, Barrie, Angus, all those places. You know, they don't need it up there.
Yeah.
They know how to live off the land, don't they? Or do they?
Anything else you want to get off your chest there
You
before
know,
we move
I
into the
noticed
topics?
a lot of box stores that go up. Those guys are smart, eh? They put all these box stores up because they know it takes them forever to get home from working in the city. So all they do is grab food on the way home. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Instead of actually, because they don't have time to literally cook
That's
a
right.
meal, because it's like go to bed and then back to work the next day. That
Yeah,
sucks.
I've seen more and more people subscribe to those businesses now where they kind of box a meal and send it to you to kind of have, right? But
Well,
it's
even
also
like
good
the
for
Uber
like
Eats and all
shut-ins.
those companies, man. Skip the dishes,
Well,
all that
yeah,
crap.
yeah,
They make
yeah.
crazy money off those.
Oh, they got fucking John Hamm on their commercials. John Hamm is
Is that the one that was on
during the Super Bowl? Yeah, where he's like a
Yeah.
hipster. He's trying to act like hip and cool and young or something, right?
But
Yeah.
I felt like that was on at every
This is
commercial.
lit. Well, Canada, here's the thing with Canada and the Super Bowl commercials. We don't really get the full Super Bowl commercials. We always get fucked over because of the.
Is that why you always see that weird Canadian Tire blimp fly across the screen? It doesn't look
Probably.
like it's supposed to be there.
Probably, because that's the thing, right? I mean, that's what they do with ads, like at hockey games and stuff now too, right? Like the ones that are on the boards a lot of the time. That's why they
Yeah,
they,
it's all
they
like
aim it
computer
towards
shit.
the viewership, right? Not it's not really usually what's on at the game, right?
Yeah.
It's funny if you actually. That's why I'm
Like the
always kind of
All-Star
looking
game.
for shit like that when I go to a game, right? Because I know it's always different than what you're actually going to end up seeing on TV. But it's not like I'm going to physically watch the game that I was at, right? So, but anyways,
It was kind of like how they do that All-Star. They did the All-Star game.
Yeah,
You see
we-
how they did that too this year? Sorry, speaking of the NHL.
yeah.
They did that slap, the competition skill.
No, tell me about
the
it.
target
I didn't end up
competition?
watching it this
No,
year.
it was like a screen, basically a screen, and it had the 5 targets. And as soon as it's a plexiglass screen, so as soon as the puck would hit the target, it's supposed to go off. It sounds like a friggin' pinball machine,
Right.
every time you
Yeah,
hit it. But they're like,
You have the technology
off,
now. Why
but
not, right?
it's off. You can tell it is. It's not as accurate as you think. I mean, there was times where the angle kind of looked weird. I don't know if it was because of
Yeah.
the camera angle or not, but yeah, it looked like they weren't hitting them and they were actually breaking. So it was kind of fucking weird. But yeah, the technology, you're right, that they have with the screens and with the advertisement sucks. So that's all I kept seeing was skip the dishes, skip the dishes.
Yeah, during the Super Bowl, we always get fucked over for commercials. Like, and Super Bowl commercials in the States is a big deal, right? People fucking spend.
Big-
well, they were
big
they were
money,
giving
right?
out stats like leading into the game when they were doing like the pregame shit. They
Yeah.
put up some stats from like I don't know Super Bowl 50 years ago because this was
Yeah.
100 years of the NFL. This wasn't the 100th Super Bowl, but the NFL has been going for 100 years. So this Super Bowl was kind of a big deal. That's why they had all the stars there at the start of the game. Like, yeah, I don't know if you watched that part of it. They had all the winners of different Super Bowls and like they even had like some of the oldest players that were still living there and stuff like that, right? To kind of
Aren't those guys just the commentators like Terry Bradshaw and all that?
well, he's old too. He's up there. He is a commentator, but no. Like there was a lot of people there. Like there was a lot of like old Super Bowl winners. Like like Tom Brady was there, Peyton Manning. Like some of the more people more
Brady.
recent.
Tom Brady was still there even though he didn't.
Yeah.
Fuck
He
yeah.
didn't play, but I mean he was there before.
I-
I know, really, right? His fucking Belichick, his the coach who plays with them because they fucking won so many Super Bowls. He was busting out the Tom Brady with all the rings on his fingers. They cut to him for a quick moment to talk about coaching, and it was like, oh look, there's Belichick, and he fucking was like this with his fucking rings. Like he kind of just did like one time with fucking his 5 or 6 rings. Remember the fucking how many rings he has now? I think it's like 6, right? Like
That's fucked.
well, that's the team, right? Those two, fucking Tom Brady and Belichick, right? Like that's
guess
the
so.
coach that he's won so many Super Bowls with, right?
Yeah.
And, But yeah, I mean, if you want to get into it now, I guess since we're talking about it, the Super Bowl, not bad. The last couple of years have been real snooze fest. To be honest, this one kind of was up and down, but once it got to that fourth quarter, man, that was exciting football, man.
I only started watching it after the.
Well, that's the time. That was the time to watch after the half, and including the half, which we'll get into in a moment. Where I had a half, I had a half a chub there by watching that. Oh yeah, a little log. But yeah, no, that was it was a good game. That fourth quarter of the game when Kansas City came back, man, was good. But like it was kind of a fuck Super Bowl because like Kansas City has done this a lot this year. I mean, even to get to the Super Bowl, the game that they played prior to, they were down like 30 points or something ridiculous. I remember it was somewhere between 20 and 30 points they were down, and then they pulled off the same shit in the fourth quarter. They had an amazing comeback to get there. It's like I don't know. It's like they strategically play almost.
No, it is, isn't it? Is it supposed to be strategic?
Well, of course it is. Football is, but it's just like that you run a big risk if you're gonna keep them at arm's length throughout most of the game like that and just fucking power through them at the end like that. And who's to say that that's actually, because that seems like a stupid tactic if that is the way they were playing the foot.
It all depends on what type of players I would think you have on your team, eh?
Right, but no, I'm just saying you run a huge risk. Like I'm not saying that they played like shit purposely throughout he was struggling throughout like most of that game. Patrick Mahomes, their quarterback, he was not playing well. There was an interception. He had to run the ball himself a couple times because he was getting tackled. But he did his thing. I mean,
he's got to do he's got to do his thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, if that's the way the team plays, I mean, those Kansas City fuckers were fast, man.
Yeah.
Like if they got in front of you, or if they had an opening, they were gone. San Francisco could not keep up. They could not catch him. There's that one guy Mosley, I think his name was, on Kansas City. I'm not too sure of their actual, names and stuff like that. But, yeah, man. Then when he would take off, he was just gone. Even the quarterback, he was quick. He was
Jimmy G was
on Kansas City. He was taking a lot of risks, man.
Kansas City, it's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah,
he was taking a lot of risks.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like they were playing it fast and loose. He's 24, bro. This is like his third year in the NFL.
What do you call that? Then they're going to hear a story like the Hernandez one.
No.
That coach doesn't look like that. Apparently, that Kansas City coach is a really
well-respected coach. It was a big win for him because a lot of people, like, he was looking for that win. He was
so calm, though.
That's what I mean. No, but that's what I liked about it, too, because at the end, all the players kind of gave respect to the coach. Like, everybody kept saying the coach, because normally they focus on the players, right? Even the players themselves, about them and the team. And don't get me wrong, it's not like a player is never given like props to the coach, but it was just like it seemed that they were all in tune with that, though. Like all of them were kind of very keen and trying to do well for the coach. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was really nice because you don't always get that. Like at least that show of
they tried.
Well,
to come back to pull it off like that, Nick, I think, like I told you, the turning point was that when the incomplete pass when they got the 5-yard.
Well, they blocked them twice. Like they shut them down twice. Like it's the Niners. They could have scored again, and then it would have been a closer race at the end there. But
which
then
was good because they got them down to fourth down. They fucked them, right?
But that's what I mean. Jimmy G, the quarterback on the Niners too. He fell apart in last fucking quarter. He threw an interception. He got blocked twice. Like they just fucking slapped the ball right out of the air. Like he was rattled, right, going into that fourth
guys
quarter.
Were hyped up, Kansas City. After that 3rd and 15.
Amazing comeback though. 2 runs in the fourth quarter. Like, you know what I mean? In the fourth quarter, that shit doesn't normally happen, especially Super Bowl.
And in that time frame, that was less than 10 minutes.
And it wasn't like no back and forth. They just dominated, right? Buddy fell apart. Mahomes kind of fucking stepped it up and got it together a bit after playing not that well all game. And fucking Jimmy G, the Niners quarterback, man, like a lot of people, they were saying like this is going to be the test. Like this guy used to play with Brady, used to be the backup, and then they got rid of him. So a lot of people were questioning whether or not they made a mistake by getting rid of him, because they won like 15 games or something this season, something crazy. Like they had an amazing season this year, like the Niners.
So they were favored, obviously, right?
Yeah, I think going into it, I think KC had on the actual betting. I think KC had the upper hand. I think when it came to it, but I think in terms of the fans, I mean, that's the thing. It was a good matchup. Neither of those teams. Like I like Patrick Mahomes if anything, I like both the teams, but I like Patrick Mahomes a lot, like the quarterback. In terms of quarterbacks, I was rooting for him because I like that quarterback.
Yeah.
But just because he's a young guy, like you said, he has a huge career ahead of him right now. Like he's fucking, it's like a third year in NFL. He like won, right? Like
Already got a Super Bowl.
It's crazy. Yeah, he's part of that club now. They said him and like 2 other people I think were that young when they won, but really cool. But yeah, no, I think this was the real test, and I think he let a lot of Niners fans down, Jimmy G. And like, I'm not even a Niners fan like that, but they were saying like this was gonna prove whether or not like he was the real deal. This kind of this, and he fell apart in the last quarter. So it's hard to say. Like, they played fantastic throughout the whole season, very consistent. A lot of people were doubters of the Niners. They didn't even think they were gonna get to this point. But none of the teams that I root for really in football made it there. Baltimore was the big fucking team that they kept saying was gonna make it into the playoffs, and I'm a Baltimore fan. So like the fact that they didn't make it there, they lost before they got there, I was really disappointed, right? But what are you gonna do? I mean, that's the sport, right?
I got a friend. My uncle was going for what do you call that?
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
No, not
Kansas.
the Chiefs. He was talking.
Oh, Niners.
49ers.
Yeah, yeah.
In San Francisco. I don't know what's with him in San Francisco, but I can probably guess. But yeah. So the 49ers. I thought he was going to throw the thing at like when I called him to ask him. I thought, did you break the TV? Because when he left, they were up, right?
Yeah.
Before your.
How about your buddy
favorite.
Horshack there?
Yeah, he didn't really care. None of those teams were his, right?
Yeah.
Like none of those were his favorite teams.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Who was he?
He's,
Don't tell me the Cowboys.
No, what's the other guys that are like the Chiefs?
Patriots.
What are the other guys? Washington.
Ew, the
I was
Redskins?
gonna say, why are they like Chiefs, right? And
Well, it's racist teams, yeah.
I was trying to figure out what I'm trying to put them both together.
Washington was the team that they actually went to them and said, "Okay, can you guys change your name or at least your logo?" And they refused. So they're like the most straight up like racist fucking of the football teams. There was a whole thing about it.
They're just talking about their shirts. Maybe they're just red-skinned about their shirts.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean the Chiefs is not. It's still in that kind of area as well, but not real as bad as the Redskins.
What about don't they have Cleveland Indians in baseball?
Yeah, but they've been criticized for that. Well,
criticized.
one of their older they don't use it I think as much now, but one of their older logos is literally the Indian head and the guy's smiling, right? Like, whoa, yeah, the native Indian guy, right?
Why
So.
not?
It's funny too because like then you got Chicago hockey team, right? Same thing, Blackhawks. I mean they got but
They're double racist.
theirs isn't as cartoony as the as the baseball team. Though. Theirs is very cartoony looking Indian. He's like smiling from ear to ear, right? But it's funny because if you go to Chicago, which I have been, and I went to watch a Blackhawks game against Philly when I was there. Amazing arena, and a lot of history there. And the fucking banners in the arena it puts us to shame because between basketball and hockey, it's insane. Like, don't get me wrong, if we had them like draped, like, because they even had the semifinal ones there too, like all the times the Bulls made it there, you know what I mean, like just between the Bulls and the Blackhawks though, the pennants or whatever you call them, that they had hanging there from the roof, it was insane. Like the whole fucking place was flooded with them, right? So it was just overwhelming. But nice arena though. And yeah, but that's what I mean. Everyone's wearing Blackhawks gear when you go there. Even I did. I busted out my hat. I brought it with me when I went to Chicago, right? I was like, but anyways, I just said that to say I really enjoyed that arena, and I like the Blackhawks, but yeah, Super Bowl was good. I liked that fourth quarter a lot. And like I said, the last couple of years have been snooze fest. So, anyways, let's talk about the halftime though. It's really what. Fuck football. That's really what I'm itching to talk about here. The halftime performance was by Shakira and J-Lo, everybody.
Which I thought was kind of weird because it feels like they're sticking it to the U.S.
Yeah, just a little bit. There was a lot of Spanish people on that stage.
Because they're in Miami, right?
Right.
So they're there. That's why I'm taking off my shirt right now. That's the noise you're going to be hearing soon. No. But yeah, if anybody remembers that part.
Yeah, so Shakira kind of did the funniest takeaway from the Super Bowl was Shakira just yelling that noise that tongue fucking wag and crazy noise that she kind of let off with.
Fucking weird, dude. No?
You know what though?
No.
Tell me this though. I don't know if you had mentioned this. because me and Christine, when we were watching the game, we had talked about it, and I think others agreed. You may have also mentioned it to me, and I'm forgetting. But don't you think that she purposely did that just for the fucking memes, like that we're gonna follow? Because I think now strategically stars are just doing stupid things now, so they get noticed. Like this goes all the way back to like the first instance of that when it really blew up, and I'm like, yeah, he did that shit on purpose. That I felt was Drake when he did that fucking Hotline Bling dance. Remember everybody fucking made the stupid memes of him dancing around that fucking room because it looked ridiculous. Yeah. Everyone's like, he's like the biggest star in the world at the time. Everyone's like, not that he's not now, but everyone's just like, what the fuck is he doing? You know, that stupid dance, and they just were putting like objects in his head, and then he did the Views cover where he's sitting on top of the CN Tower, and everyone did shit with that.
You've seen him everywhere.
I think it's just become like a thing now. I think people that are very of the times and internet savvy know that there's people like the internet will just jump on it, right? And as a result, you're an internet sensation for fucking doing something stupid like.
She got 4,800 fucking views. Some person on YouTube has that many.
And it's not like Shakira's not popular still, but like let's be honest. I mean, this is a huge win for her. This fucking performance, man. She
was just letting you know what she was gonna do to J-Lo later on.
Hey, I would have been okay with that too. Man,
it's like mother and daughter.
She's like 43 and J-Lo's like 51. Man, they were looking nice, man. J-Lo, it's amazing, man. I don't know any other woman in her 50s like that looks that smoking hot, man. Hey, listen, ladies, you know, ladies in their 50s, you know, I'm sure there's still a lot of
to looking like that.
That's all I'm saying. And I've talked to other women that were at work, and they said that they brought it up to me. They brought it up to me. They said that oh wow, she looks great for her age, right? I'm like, yeah, like no woman can deny it. Like she works really hard. I'm sure she's got the money
and the muscles that she's got now. Well, that's probably from
she's
that
got the money and
show.
She's the movie. Yeah, she's got the money and she's got the trainers. I'm sure she works hard. You know, she's able to pull that off, right?
Well, it's what her life is. She's
what a fucking year for her, though, bro. She's 51. She fucking had this performance at the Super Bowl this year. She's looking fit as ever. It's insane. And she was just in that movie that she, like, you know what I mean? Like, what this past year.
Wasn't
her
daughter singing up there, too?
Yes, when they came with the all the kids. Yeah, sure. I think her daughter, Shakira, too, I think had a kid that was up there as well.
Doesn't look like they got kids, man.
Yeah, so there you have it.
Shakira doesn't age either.
I don't know. Big win for them. Big win for the Spanish community, I guess. And the big fuck you to Trump. Yeah.
They stuck it to him.
Trump that thinks Kansas is the state that.
Oh, well, you know what's funny? Kansas, the state. I can't believe he actually said that.
Congrats. The state really shows what America is made of if we work hard or whatever bullshit he fucking said.
Where does this guy get his? I don't know. But you know what? Maybe he does that for fucking attention. If anybody knows how.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Can you
works.
believe how stupid Trump is yet again?" You know what I mean? People are just falling for it, hook, line, sinker, maybe. But I believe it's just because he's an idiot, personally.
Yeah, like that. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But I mean, you know, if there's anybody that knows TV and shit and Hollywood more than fucking him, and how to make money off of it or figure, you know, get their attention, he'll use it.
Well,
but this one here. The other one, J-Lo there, at one point I had mentioned, I go, look at those granny panties. I don't know if you noticed that part when she was crawling along the ground. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? She's got her fucking Depends on. I go, you see, she's getting old. Next thing I know, it's because she had a whole other outfit on.
Yeah.
All she's doing is rubbing herself the whole fucking show. And I don't mind. Hey, if you want to rub yourself with leather.
Right at the end, they both turned around, shook their asses, and then the performance was just done.
I was waiting for them to make out, man.
You remember that? It was just like they literally just turned around. They shook their money makers, you know, the thing that they know what the people want.
Yeah.
And then this performance just ended. It was honestly one of the best halftime shows I've seen in a lot.
It was.
They killed it too, though. They were dancing, they were fucking singing. You know what? Even if I'll tell you this, I'm actually a big J-Lo fan. Like I know all those songs that she was singing, like over the years. No, I am, man. I am honestly. She's a good performer. She did a good job, and she looks great. Like I
liked her in Money Train. Remember?
Sure, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean by J-Lo fan. Like I like movies she's been in, and she's also been involved with hip hop for quite a long time too, right? So like she's done songs. I was just waiting for Ja Rule to come out, man. Like
it was your buddy there with the sparkles on him.
Bad Bunny.
They had to bring two guys out, right?
Fucking
they knew the performance was the
With his
girls.
stupid fucking silver suit, it looked like he was in a
Space
Bad
Cadet.
Boy. He looks like he was in a Bad Boy video from the '90s, for fuck's sakes, with
He
that
looked
silver
like the
suit.
fucking Star Spangled Banner if he was wearing a red shirt.
Someone,
with the sparkle
they
on
were
his
making
face.
fun of him. They were saying that he looked like the Tin Man when he came out for Wizard of Oz.
Actually, that's not so bad.
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah,
so bad either.
yeah.
But what was the other guy that was there too? There was a couple of them
There was a couple Spanish guys that came out.
to speak Spanish, but yeah. I can't remember. That's fucking awesome. How did she? Well, why did she? So they knew. She went right to that camera, dude.
That's what I mean. Like it stayed on her for a moment, and she was like, "Oh, here's my chance to do something ridiculous." Like I know Shakira's been known for her stupid fucking yodeling that she's done before. Like there's that video that was like the one that she first got noticed for, the one where she's shaking her ass on mountains, wherever, whenever. That one where she's like, "I'm gonna shake my ass everywhere."
Okay.
People had made fun of her voice and compared her to a goat and shit since back in the day. Like there's been jokes about her before.
She's
I mean, even her, she
played the
looked
drums
fit, man.
too, man. Did you see her playing the drums? Did you check it out?
That's my question. Does she actually know how to play those instruments?
Yeah,
Because,
she used to be in the rock.
She was playing a
rock
fucking
star.
guitar at one point. I'm like, what's going
That's when it
on?
started. It was like more, I think, Latino rock.
Yeah.
It was more like that kind of music when she grew, like when she was younger, right?
Oh, good for her. She
But
fucking
yeah,
went fully.
She can do it all, man.
She stripped, she danced, and then she fucking played the guitar, and then she was on the drums when J-Lo was performing. I was
Bro,
like, what's going on?
It was a one-time performance. I mean, it was a one-off, man. You're not gonna see that very much.
Listen,
I was waiting for wardrobe malfunctions, to be honest.
people were talking about that too because we all
They actually
remember
put some
when.
bets.
Yeah, because they all remember back when Janet Jackson, her tit popped out. Remember when she was with Justin Timberlake?
Justin Timberlake just to run on stage and ripped her tit off. That's it. Imagine you see Bieber come out there and just go like this. 'Cause, he's all fucked up right now, and he just rips their shirt off.
Yeah, what's going on with that guy?
I don't know. I told you he's had issues with drugs, bro.
Yeah.
He just came out about it too.
It's sad because like you knew
know what's gonna happen.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Like he gets into his 20s and everything falls apart for him. Like
Once he started getting out, and I'm not trying to depict people with tattoos as people that start using drugs and dibble dabble and all that shit, because I know quite a few people that don't, right? But when you go from that innocent little kid to all of a sudden that big superstar that can get and have and do whatever he wants, literally, and he was getting away with it, then you start tattooing yourself out, hanging out with rap stars. You don't think you're going to dibble and dabble a little bit? And whether you can handle it or not.
Well, that's the thing, and I think anybody in his position. Don't get me wrong. I've had lots of fun in my day, but I think that the difference is you have unlimited resources in terms of money and connections when you're in that position. Whereas,
Unlimited, right?
But that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Did I say limited? Sorry,
don't know.
meant
I thought you
unlimited.
said limited, sorry.
Yeah, I may have. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
like, if I was in that fucking position, I'd probably be in the same position he is, where if he's.
Well, they got probably people begging for him to buy it from him just
I'm
because
not-
they want the money.
I'm not saying I'm beyond that though. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I have a good head on my shoulders, but like, I've partied a lot too. You know what I mean? So like the fact that if I had the fame and the money and the time to get into that position as well, like yeah, it's possible. Like I'm not putting.
I've never partied. I just
Sure.
me,
Yeah, of course.
right? I'm just coffee and cigarettes. I haven't gone crazy about,
Yeah.
like some of these guys, like.
I could see myself going into rehab.
no.
Yeah, man, why not? I mean, if I had if I was a big star, I'd have those rehab years. Look at that other chick. What's her name? That Demi Lovato. The fucking chick did heroin or something. She was like a heroin addict. The other day, she just performed on the Grammy. She had like apparently some big turnaround this year because she admitted that she had like a drug issue.
Yeah, I heard something about her having a drug issue.
But
I didn't know
apparently
she had
this has
turnaround
been
yet.
her comeback year. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's weird. You're never
hard.
dead. You're never dead anymore, though. I think
No.
today is like in today's times with stars, it's like the comeback years,
Yeah.
bro. You can totally change your image. It's possible. Like back in the day, people would just write you off, and it's unless they cancel you, like the cancel culture with the actual shit. If you get found out, there's some things they'll never forgive now. Like there's things like drugs. Oh, okay, no big deal. But if it's like sexual harassment or something, you're done. Like
But
your
they
career's
have
over.
unlimited resources, like we were saying, to
Yeah.
actually doing the drugs.
Yeah.
So they do also have unlimited resources when it comes to trying to clean themselves up after.
Right.
You got to remember that they're also in that limelight too, where if they do need the help, they can get it a lot easier than most people can, right?
Right.
So, I mean, not that they don't need it. I'm saying if they need it, they need it, regardless of
Right.
So, yeah, if that's the case, if he's doing something, getting himself into some shit, at least if he could talk about it and get out and get open with it, then he's good, man. He can get himself fucking smartened up.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just a generation, man, with these kids, and a lot of these people making crazy money off YouTube and stuff and not knowing how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've seen that too. I've heard about situations like that where they're trying to close down actual YouTube's channels, people's channels, because of that reason, right? Just for the stuff that they kind of push and promote on there,
right?
In the wrong way, right? So it's a crazy world we live in, brother. You got
this fucking tea, man.
I told you, bro. I feel like a fucking like a cow, man. I've been just fucking chewing on grass, bro. I'm sipping on tea. That's why I had to get the coffee at the same time. I was like, you know what? I tried tea, this new tea, some Tim Hortons, guys, okay? And I know it seems like we've been
talking a lot about it lately, yeah.
But they're really fucking pissing me off. I think they're pissing quite a few people off.
Yeah, Jay went in earlier to order his tea, and he went like this.
That's how they greeted me at the door, actually. Yeah, it was the language they were speaking.
Swahili.
I have no idea what the fuck they said. And then they came up with all these weird... this is called like fucking lemongrass chai tea. The chai tea is good, but lemongrass, what the fuck is lemongrass?
Jay was like,
I'm chewing on the grass outside. It smells like it tastes
I'd like a honey lemon tea, please.
She was so confused like that. She had no idea. That's what her face just went. That's it. There's your fucking snippet for YouTube, bro. JT doing his fucking thing. Huh?
Yeah,
that go viral, guys.
I'm gonna fucking take that snippet as a as a sound effect for the show now. Never mind.
Remember, for 38 minutes on your fucking thing. So fuck up. Remember that one. So if you guys hear that later on in the show, another show down the road.
What's that thing on Scarface? Like, what is that thing, man? Where he does that thing with his tongue. He's like, it's like a snake or
like a fucking lizard.
Lizard, yeah. He goes like this. He tries to grab it.
Yeah, it's like a fucking lizard, man. Holy fuck. Oh, man.
He's like, he says to the little girl, he's going to go stick out his tongue to that lady. Watch. He does it. She slaps him in the fucking face.
Yeah. See? Oh, man. That was good.
That's the one we got to watch for our new movie podcast.
Oh, seriously. That wouldn't be such a bad one to watch. Because I think I've watched it 30 million times, but I don't think I've ever watched it to see if there's anything wrong with it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's actually an interesting one. Maybe we should switch it to that.
There might be some real fucked up things in there that we haven't caught on to,
right.
Holy fuck. But
anyways,
yeah, so that was the ultimate halftime show. I know J-Lo needed to be held up a little bit there, here and there. It looked like she needed a little bit of help.
She wasn't.
It did. If she fucking fell and broke a hip.
She wasn't doing as much dancing at the start, I'll give you that, but she saved it all for the end.
Busted it up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, most people in their 50s, they start shaking their head like that, they're going to fall to the floor.
But
bro.
I mean, J-Lo.
How the fuck did she swing her head?
I mean, J-Lo, though, come on. I mean.
She got a great ass.
That's right. But it's just I don't know, man. I don't know how she was stripping on that pole that wasn't even attached at the top. Like, it was just crazy, man.
They were holding her. They were holding her at one
man.
time.
She really impressed me for an old lady. You got my thumbs up.
There you go. There you have it.
Fuck.
Speaking of old, just before we recorded the show today, we heard that Kirk Douglas has died, everybody. Father of Michael Douglas and who else? I think he has another son, doesn't he?
Wasn't it a whole...
There's a whole clan of them, isn't there?
Yeah, but wasn't there ones with in different languages?
I don't know.
No, that was the other guy. But no,
check your stat on that.
I have to check my stats.
103 fucking years old though. He lived a life. This fucking guy, right? This guy was back in the day since.
You want to be alive at 103, bro?
No, not really.
No.
I don't want to die either though. So, so it's kind of hard. Hard to say. Maybe 90. But
What's
yeah.
going on with me here? I'm trying to spell. I'm sorry, guys. My fucking fat fingers here.
You almost looked up Kirsten Dunst there.
Yeah, I
I see
know.
that. I
I
was
was
like, what
like,
the fuck?
Yeah, but see, I mean, look at
Bro, this guy lived a
Poor
life,
guy,
man. Old Hollywood. This guy probably like banged every woman back in the day when you didn't get, canceled by. Probably he was harassing women all over the place. This guy, Kirk Douglas.
Dude. So, yeah, man. Born in 1916, bro. That's crazy.
That's insane.
In Amsterdam, New York. That's crazy, man.
103. Well, rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace. So he's got.
What are some of his classic movies there?
So Michael
Spartacus,
Douglas,
of course,
Joel
right?
Doug-
Spartacus.
Look at him. He's got Michael Douglas, Joel Douglas, Peter Douglas, Eric.
I think
Eric's
Eric
dead.
and Eric was in stuff though, wasn't he?
Eric's dead though.
No, but he was in movies, wasn't he, or
Yeah.
TV or something? I think Michael Douglas and him are the only ones that were in. I might
Yeah.
be wrong about Eric, but he was,
One of
wasn't he?
them. Yeah, Eric, he was, but not. But they have half brothers.
Yeah.
They're all half brothers and stuff like that.
But yeah, more importantly, I mean, he's most well known, I guess, for Spartacus, right?
He's
Kirk Douglas.
yeah.
Yeah, Spartacus.
It's a very dude. I mean, the career. If I looked up the career right now, it would just span a lifetime with him. For starting from the 40s.
No, I'm just saying, give us the
Movies.
greatest hits. I'm just saying, give us a few fucking of the the big ones.
Oh,
I don't need to hear movies from the 50s. I haven't seen that shit. I know Spartacus is old too, but
yeah, but
everyone
then
knows
you gotta.
Spartacus.
That's what I'm saying. It's starting in 1940, so I gotta move my way up to see some
Okay,
crazy
forget it.
fucking
Forget
show.
it. Rest in peace.
know?
Okay, I'm not a huge Kirk Douglas fan, anyways. But
But yeah, no, I feel bad. Rest in peace. So
Yeah.
here you go. There you go. You want to see what movies he's in, Nico? You want to know what movies he's in?
oh, I
Now
mean,
they have
like if you had
pictures.
it up, then sure.
You are right. Yes, Spartacus and all these weird movies, man. 20,000 Leagues Under
Oh
the
yes,
Sea.
yes,
Right?
sure.
Ace in the Hole. That's what Nico likes.
He's in the hole.
Ace in the Hole. No, he's got a fucking shitload of stuff, man. You can't even even if you were to just try to think about what he's written. Yeah, no, I mean, sorry, what he's been in. Nothing really within the last 30 years. If he's been in anything in the last 30 years, he's probably been in a chair.
No, I mean, when he came up at the awards like a couple of years ago, I think when he like turned 100 or something, remember? And he could barely fucking talk. The
Yeah.
guy, like he's old as fuck,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, man.
They rolled him up there, though. I mean,
I think he had a stroke apparently. I think today. Or the
That's
other
how he
day.
died?
I think that was what it was. He had a
Yeah.
stroke. He had a stroke.
103 though. I'm sure he led a good life. So.
Yeah, I think he had a stroke once already in his life too.
Watch.
So
Later today, there's going to be an article that comes out that shames him for during the Me Too movement.
oh yeah, he was grabbing everybody's
Kirk
ass.
Douglas dead. Also, Kirk Douglas
Well, yeah.
rapist.
He can't, bro. He had
Kirk
a
Douglas
stroke. He was
molested
not working on one
someone
side.
while
man.
he died. You imagine?
Oh,
Well, that's
maybe he OD'd, man.
no, but that fucking it started happening with Kobe after he died. Did you hear about
what?
that?
About what? Everybody.
What's her
Shaming
name?
him?
Rachel Wood, what the fuck her name is? Evan Rachel Wood, or I don't know what her name is, but some actress. She basically said, yeah, oh yeah, Kobe. Like the day he died, I think she tweeted out that, oh, he's dead. Good riddance. He's a rapist or some shit like that. Like, cause Kobe, there was a lot of allegations about him. I'm not gonna get into it all, because I think it was a pretty fucking bullshit move for her to bust out some shit like that the day the guy died, right? I mean,
That's what happens, bro. People still want their, maybe he was tied up, maybe they were tied up or something in court. I don't know. People are gonna start talking. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that goes on only because now he's not around for him to defend himself anymore.
well, I remember XXX Tentacion too was going to court when that shit happened too, right? And I know that was a big topic of conversation too. Our buddy there, Rosenberg, with Ebro in the morning, he had said some shit about him too, and a lot of people thought it was in bad taste for him to talk shit about the dead like right away. Like, but I mean, he wasn't wrong. He was going to jail. Like he was apparently, he did beat up like the girl that he was with and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but I just think that that all aside, like, you know what I mean? Like if you're one of those people that I think was polarizing in the sense that no one's like no one's perfect, and some bad shit was associated with your name as well. The people that want to celebrate the people for the things that they liked about that person, I don't think the focus should be on the negative right away on the day of the person's death. I just think that's not a classy move. Like, if you don't want to celebrate the guy's life because you felt that he was a scumbag, then just keep your thoughts to yourself. That's what I think. Because no matter who it is, there's somebody that would be disappointed by someone's death. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
what gives you the right to talk shit about that person when other people are in mourning, right?
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of people that like that kid, but I understand. Like, I understood when it went down that that was one person's perspective on it, and and a lot of people had called him out, and he's not the only one that said it. There was lots of people that came forward and basically said, "Why are we celebrating this guy? This guy was like, so." I'm just saying in generalities, like just in general, like, you know what I mean? Like, lots of people die all the time. Like, I'm, I have close friends. I mean, if not, or used to be close friends of mine. If I heard one of them died, that I'm not really, and we're not friends anymore, I wouldn't fucking go and talk shit about the guy. You know what I mean? Oh, I remember this fucking one time. He's a scumbag. Fuck him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty fucking petty move. Like, you're still living. You hear what I'm saying?
Give it a week or so. No, I don't have to talk all this shit. Not like they can hear you anyways.
I don't know. Am I wrong? I don't know,
bro. It all depends. It depends what kind of taste you have. Okay, it depends what kind of person you are. If you don't really, if you're not really meaning it, if you're just saying it because other people want to make something of it, and they're just too pussy to say it, it's different.
Well, that's what. Also, that's what I mean. You also got to take it from the perspective they got to respect someone that stands by their thoughts, right? Like that. I thought he was a scumbag before he died. I think he's a scumbag now that he's dead. I'm not saying change your opinion, but I'm like, don't, I just feel like if people are in mourning, you shouldn't be raining on their parade by fucking bringing up the negative about somebody, right? Like,
but that's what they're gonna do, especially if people are famous and people are. So that's what'll happen if they're involved in something like that.
Right.
It'll happen. It's gonna happen, especially when you got the news and what's it called? All those stations there like TMZ and stuff like that are out.
Oh, let's not get into that, man.
They'll have us off the air. Hey, what's his name from Judge Judy? No, hey, he didn't go so bad. He went from the guy that stands outside the courtroom from Judge Judy to having his own TMZ thing. That's the guy who owns TMZ. That's the lawyer guy. The guy that used to, when Judge
That's
Judy.
that guy?
That's him. The one that used to talk to you when you used to come
serious?
out. Yeah, the young guy. Yeah.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Wow, good for him. I mean, no, it's just he's a scumbag, but yeah.
Judge Judy's she was a real lawyer, and her husband was a well-respected lawyer.
Judge Judy is like almost a billionaire.
Lawyer.
You know how rich Judge Judy is?
Well, her husband
Insane.
was also a Supreme Court.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, this guy from TMZ has them on his side. He's a lawyer as well, but he also probably has them on his side too. Like, you don't fuck around with her.
Right.
Don't fuck around with Judge Judy. She'll come and shut you down. Right?
Don't fuck around, man. So, it's been a week since it came out now, so I guess we can talk about it a little bit more, or just under a week maybe. And we played the intro track to this episode, is Mahogany by Lil Wayne. Did you have a chance to listen to a little bit more of the Lil Wayne album there?
I don't know how you just jump ship from Eminem to Lil Wayne like that quick.
Eminem? No, we're just talking about Judge Judy.
No, I don't know. I'm saying on
the album.
Music-wise. Right?
I've only been listening to those two albums though.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Those are the only two albums right now.
And I haven't even listened to the whole thing yet, Wayne.
Yeah.
I've only listened to maybe like a quarter of Funeral, but the songs that I've latched onto a few songs just by kind of quickly playing.
Yeah, it picks up
I did like the 10-second rule where I'm like, I'll listen to 10 seconds of it, and if the beat is, I know that's not a way to judge an album.
Rule, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. No, it is. That's how they listen to music nowadays.
But for me, because I'm still listening to the M, I was like, okay, I would like to listen to some of this, so I'm gonna like latch on to a few songs I think that sound good to me, like the beat, like from the get go, right?
Yeah.
And there's like
right
there's like a handful of songs I really enjoy off of it. I've just been playing them nonstop, right? That with the M still, and so I'm still same with you. You didn't listen to the whole thing yet either, though, as far as I know, right?
It's cycled through it once.
Okay.
Once
I haven't
right?
even done that yet.
I keep it. You know me. I'll keep it playing in my ear, and I pick things up while I'm while I'm talking to you outside or whatever, right?
I like the Wayne album though. I mean, it's better than his last couple of efforts he put out, though. I'm as far as I'm concerned.
I just don't like the story. I don't like his. He's not a storyteller, so he's different. It's just like
He sometimes can be.
He can
He's had
be,
story tracks. He's
but
had story
they're still
tracks.
one-liner stories. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it very well. I don't know. It's just like that second part of that Joyner intro that came out the other day that you sent me. There's
Yeah.
another one you're all excited about too, and man.
Joyner announced that the album's coming in March, guys. So this is a hell of a first quarter. If we get M
No
and
wonder
fucking
Shakira was doing that noises. She knows all the
we
good
get
music's coming.
M in January, Wayne in February, and then fucking
Joyner
Joyner
in
in March. Like,
This is
I'm a
the
happy
first
fucking
3
camper,
albums.
guys. Yeah, that's why we look towards our top 5 of the year and their media wrap up at the end of this year, guys, because those good chance those are going to be in it.
The funny thing is that the Little Wayne came out. I was listening to it. I got a chance to go through it, and then all of a sudden, that Joyner dropped with and like you said, you didn't realize it was a new one.
No,
Until,
I just saw the announcement.
Yeah,
I was
until the
excited by the
announcement.
announcement of it's coming in March. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't even listen to the snippet, but he
it's
put-
still the same intro as the intro, the
Yeah.
ADHD intro, and then that one's called the Revenge intro. This is actually Revenge. If
Well-
you actually listen to the words,
Well, I knew that he was going to do something like this, though. It wasn't that. It was what he did with the Revenge intro at the top, at the start of ADHD was.
he
He
sounds
did-
angry.
Yeah, but he did one of those things where you mix 2 songs in a video. They used to do it a lot more back in the day. Like, there was like G Unit used to do it. I remember, like, that was like the first time they introduced like Young Buck. Like, he had like his first song. Was it Take a Ride With Me or something? I think that's what it was. But
Yeah.
if you remember the video at the end of it, they mixed in the Stomp remix, which was like him and Ludacris. And it was a huge moment because Ludacris came on the track and his verse was
Yeah.
basically talking shit about T.I., who was one of the biggest South rappers out at the time, right? So
yeah.
then G Unit came on the scene, and I'm sure you remember a lot of this. Then they brought Young Buck out because at first they had all New York guys, and they're like, okay, we need a South guy. Okay, now we're bringing Game out. We have a West Coast guy,
Yeah.
and it was they were
It's like just trying to dominate areas.
exactly, and they were huge, and it
Yeah.
worked. And that was why it was such a big deal. But at the end of that video, they mixed in Stomp, but they only put like half the song in there. So if you wanted to hear the rest of it, you had to get it on the album or get it on the internet or whatever, right? So that's why they used to do that a lot more, I remember. So that's what the Revenge intro kind of was. It was introducing one track to another, but it was a way for him to tease both of them at the same time. And that was smart because now when the album comes out, remember we were complaining? I'm like, well, I don't want to hear all the whole fucking album before it comes out.
Yeah.
The way he kind of did it, it's still gonna kind of feel fresh, I think, when you get to hear it.
I don't.
right?
I think you might hear one or two.
Yeah.
I mean, you might hear that one song on there.
Yeah.
But see the way I just you see in the beginning of the first ADHD when it came out and he did that beginning part of it, the intro, and it shows like he actually literally is almost just like waking up
Yeah.
from his bed.
Yeah, we
I
talked
like
about
to
it
see,
on here.
Yeah, I'd like to see how this video
Revenge?
would come out after that whole explosion. You know what I mean? Like, how would you start it off?
What
if
were your
it's gonna
thoughts
be
on it?
on the song?
Yeah.
I think he's angry. I think he's had a rough. I think that from what I'm understanding, I think he's had a rough time.
Fed up with the industry.
He's had a rough time coming into the industry.
Well, of course. I mean, he's had a rough time with record labels.
I don't think he's a
agents.
guy that can come out with music fast. Like
He's a
song after
perfectionist.
song. Yeah,
That's why.
he's very.
Yeah.
He's very.
He's like
He's
Drake.
got to concentrate on. He's got to think of what he's gonna say the right way, and he's gonna say it, and he's gonna put it in the right way. And you're not going to hear it until it's actually completely done. And maybe that's why this album's taken so long. People were pushing him to get it done quick. You know, you sign with a record label, they just want, right? And then after you back out of it, you can do your own thing. Maybe he had to get orders in line. The way he sounded, he had to cut off friends.
Right.
If he's talking about anything realistic in that song, it sounds like he's cutting people off.
More so in the extended version, like where
Yeah.
would the bomb would have went off in the intro to ADHD, like almost a minute and a half into the song. Now it's like a 4.5 minute song or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Jay said, we were listening to the song and it doesn't even really sound like Joyner the rest of the verse in terms of his tone. And
Yeah, his voice.
we were trying to pick it apart and try to figure out why it was like that. And I said to Jay, I'm like, it's because he's yelling. Like he's not rapping, he's yelling here. Like he sounds angry.
But there's a lot of words from that first intro with the bomb that he kind of references in the second song. I can't pinpoint every single
In the
word right now. I don't
extended
have.
version
I
of the
didn't
song.
write it down, but
Yeah.
in that extended version, how it kept going after,
Yeah.
and that blended the same song in together. It didn't blend it like a like he woke up from a dream with ADHD. Remember when he gets
Yeah.
out of his bed? That one. This one is almost. It sounds like it's blending right into that intro. So that could sounds like it could be the whole first song.
Well, I was about to say there's a good chance this is going to be the intro to the album, and setting off of that song
And I think
sets
he's
the tone.
angry with the industry. I think he's angry with what's going on, and you don't usually hear him
Yeah.
make, with the gunshots and being very violent when it comes to stuff. I mean, you hear him talk about it, but it's more of other things. And now he's actually, it sounds like he's angry. Like it doesn't sound like the usual Joyner. I mean, his voice is kind of off a bit. It's him, but it's off.
It's almost as if
'Cause
he's
he's
done.
yelling.
He's done proving a point. He's just saying like, "This is how." Like, fuck you guys.
This
like
is
now,
me.
yeah, exactly. Because all his other songs, he's always had something to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's always had like, and that's what I mean. Like, I get where you're coming from when you're saying that he kind of. He makes these tracks, he makes these complex videos, he's making statements about everything. And at one point, I even said, I'm like, I don't really know if I want him to put himself in a box like that and become that guy. Like
Yeah.
that's all he does. Like I like to hear him just, and he hasn't. He's done other things, but has everything been as successful as when he does songs like that? No, absolutely not. Right? I mean, you could say like the song was different. You can say maybe like that Logic one was a little bit different, right? Like
Yeah,
but-
when you throw in a video too, it helps out, right? Like it
Yeah.
helps different, and it makes you visualize differently.
right.
But this one here, you have only words, and he's literally
Yeah.
rhyming the same way that he's rhyming in that intro with
Yeah.
the bomb, and he's rhyming the same way, just that it seems angry,
Yeah,
like
and-
fed up.
Yeah, and the flow's like I wouldn't even say the flow's different. It's just he sounds different on it while rapping because he's like yelling the shit. And then like if that's the intro, if that sets the tone for this album, I mean I was already looking forward to it, but it's gonna be very interesting going into this album, kind of seeing where he's at. And
Well,
I
it's
wonder how
gonna be
many
a
tracks
beef
is,
album.
like how many tracks is it gonna be, right?
I don't know. He's got. There's a two. Well, look, last year the Baby came out with 2 albums, so that's almost 20 songs there. Now you got an M album that came out with 20 songs. You got
Seems like the trend's going back
it's coming
because
back,
even
like,
last
more
year
and more.
Drake put out the fucking double album in 2018, Scorpion,
Yeah.
2 sides.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then, but I think you can still get away with putting 20 tracks on an album, but only an hour's worth of music. Because even the M album is just over an hour's worth of music. Back in the day, you'd have like an hour and a half worth of music on 20 tracks. Now it's
Yeah.
just like, all right, I'm going to put a few skits here. I'm going to put a few like 2-3 minute tracks, or
Yeah.
I'm just rapping quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Well-
like you can still get away with it. But you're right. I think we are seeing a trend now. In people, at least older artists. The Game album was Lil Wayne's album was 24 songs. I know he said he did that shit for Kobe, but I'm sure Lil Wayne, he has so much content that he was probably already going to put together 20 songs at least, right? I mean, the Game's last album was like 20 songs. So yeah, you're right. I think a lot of people that have been in the game a long time now, I think, are actually and not putting out music as frequently,
Yeah.
are actually going to be doing that more so. At least we're seeing a trend, right? Like,
Yeah,
where-
I mean, like with this M album, like you don't have to hear another one for over a year or more.
You're not
whatever.
going to hear
You're
for
not.
another 2 years,
You
probably,
might not,
right?
yeah.
That's what I mean.
Who
It's a
knows
very good
when the next
chance.
time you're gonna hear an actual, he's gonna come out with an album.
Now he just dropped Secret, right? Like
Yeah.
secretly, like Jay-Z, because that was Jay-Z's move. I find that did it first with the last album he put out.
Yeah.
Last 2, actually, I think it may have been. But yeah, it was one of those things where he's just such a big artist. You're gonna check it out regardless. You don't need to do promo for a fucking Jay-Z album. You're
No.
gonna hear a Jay-Z album's out, and you're gonna be, oh, okay, I'll check it out. Right? So like
as
same with
soon-
Eminem. He doesn't need to fucking do any promo. Like
Saves him money.
yeah, exactly.
He does all that
So-
other stuff to make him after a little extra. Now you can be on the Instagram page. They got filters now. They got all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Like
It's interesting
weird.
how the music industry has changed over the years, man. Even now with rap, it's changed, and it's
I think that's why it's harder for a lot of these older guys to come out and do it
Yeah.
like that, because they're not used to doing it like that, right?
Well,
They're
I-
used to just putting out an album and that's it. You go to a club, you go and you do your performances. You go to stadium, you go do your performances. You know,
Well, I just came across a video prior to recording today that I watched. I didn't even fucking hear about this. It was weird to me. But like, so, sometimes I search Joe Budden stuff, so it must have came up in my feed on YouTube. And fucking Joe Budden, like a week ago or something, he did an MSNBC interview where they talked about hip hop and like things like that, and it was really weird. It was like a sit down, like kind of news interview with him. Now that he's like a media kind of mogul instead of like, you know what I mean, like media man instead of rapper. But they reference the fact he used to be a rapper and stuff too. But there was like some white guy, like reporter dude, trying to like break down things about rap with him, and him coming from it from a very
Different.
yeah, like an intelligent kind of like mature approach. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
talking about it like fans of rap or something would talk about shit, and they were asking him a lot of questions about Drake, and they were asking him about this, and they're asking him about that, the rap game, and like you know what I mean? Like so it was actually I suggest checking it out to anybody who's interested. It was actually really interesting. It's MSNBC Joe Budden interview. If you put that out on YouTube, it's like a half hour. It was pretty good, and I mean they talked about the Drake interview where he kind of sat down and portrayed a picture of himself to
Yeah.
people, and how like that was very calculated, the way he kind of like made himself look to fans during that interview, and how it was set up in a certain ways. It's just a lot of interesting topics they touched on, I felt, but it's just again weird time. It's a weird time. Like that guy was a fucking mixtape rapper. That guy came up as and now
What
he's
does he really know either? It's Joe Budden.
Oh no, he's very opinionated and he does a good job of it. I know you're just throwing shots like because you enjoy it, but I'm a fan. I will say this though, ever since we really kind of got into this podcast doing the weekly thing, I don't watch the show or listen to the show like I used to. Once you do this thing, it kind of ruins some other aspects of podcasting for
It's
you.
hard to listen
Yeah,
to.
it's not that. It's just I don't want to regurgitate the same thing I heard on another podcast. I want to have my own thoughts. Sometimes it helps contribute to our opinions and maybe have things to talk about. Like certain things I'll still check out his show for if I hear there's a topic I really want to hear their opinions on. But otherwise, it's just kind of like when you do this thing every week, it's not only that I have a lot of time, but since we're doing this so much lately, it's like I don't want to come on here and have my thoughts kind of like I said, just like I don't want to take what someone else has said and say it using my words.
And like we've talked about it before. It's hard, like when I see if I see you during the week too, not to talk about something. That's another thing you gotta watch, like, because otherwise we ruin it before we even get to the show.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel I'm very chatty tonight. I don't know. I'm talking a lot, eh?
No,
Like more
it's
than
okay
usual.
because my voice isn't the greatest, man. I'm listening to you. It's good. I told you it's that seat there.
Yeah.
'Cause, I was able to talk a little bit more last week.
Yeah, I think
right?
we're
You
more
thought about
comfortable
it?
in the seats that we're in now. That was a little weird.
No, I'm still just getting. I'm trying to get this green. I'm liking it, but I'm not.
I'm actually not. It's not bad now.
Now that the sugar's set in and all that, it's not so bad. But it's like, what the fuck am I drinking?
Very quickly, did you hear about that asshole who with the coronavirus on the plane going to Jamaica? What a cocksucker! Apparently, he's a rapper trying to make a name for
Of
himself.
course he is. Dude. You gotta do that. It's like he thought he can do a Shakira. And just stick her tongue out and make a name for herself again, remake a name for herself.
Yeah.
Right? But no, he had to say that he looks like the guy that's just cracking a joke. Maybe he had a few drinks and he had cracked a joke. That's what it looks like to me, honestly.
Yeah, the guy turned around on a plane. For all those that didn't hear, this dude, 2 hours into a flight on the way to Jamaica, I think it was an Air Canada flight even, some guy got up and announced that he had the coronavirus. He was wearing a mask and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then they made the decision to turn the fucking plane back around and come
Protocol,
back.
bro.
And as a result of that, they actually people lost one day of their vacation going to Jamaica. They actually were offered an extra flight that they put on the day after. But do you imagine you fucking are spending precious fucking work request days off to go to Jamaica, and you fucking are supposed to be there, and meanwhile this bullshit happened to you? I would be fucking furious, man. Fuck that guy.
But you
even if you're the best fucking rapper in the fucking world, I'd never listen to your fucking shit. I don't even know his fucking rap name. Fuck him. I don't even give you a plug. Fuck you.
But it's hilarious when you think about it because, I mean...
I can appreciate a fucking good joke, but I would... if I
wrong
was...
timing. Like you said about the other thing, wrong timing.
Yeah.
Wait another couple weeks, and when wait until at least we get the Canadians back from where they are.
That's the other thing going on right now.
Yeah.
Bro, there's some stuck on a cruise now or something. Do you hear about that?
Dude, could you imagine being on a fucking ship and not even
middle of the water? Bro, it's a nightmare.
Do you think this room is small, bro? I seen fucking
Cabin.
rooms.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
On those cruise ships.
On those cruise ships, and they got to stay in there. They've been getting.
Bunk
the guy
beds.
said he's been getting one bottle. He's trying to videotape it so he can keep himself sane because they're gonna be out there for 14 days.
Yeah, it's like Wilson in the volleyball.
The thing is, they're also the food they said changed too. It was now as you're basically just getting a bread sandwich and they get one warm drink a day. You're not allowed to go into the dining rooms. So they're basically a boat.
What was
waiting
it
to
like?
sink.
There's a couple hundred Canadians on there, right? Wasn't it? I think yeah, it was like a couple hundred of them.
Hey, imagine, what do you think?
You know
Hey,
what,
I'm
though?
gonna put a poll out there. What do you think what do you think they would do if everybody on that ship contracted it? I'm not saying I would like that, but what if everybody on that ship contracted? What would they do to that ship if they can't find
Well,
a
Jay,
cure?
they're already dealing with that with the people that they're trying to fly back out of Wuhan right now. There's like 100 something Canadians that were trying
they
to
flew
fly
them back. They're already back
because they
They're in,
screened all of them. This is what I'm trying. This is what I was trying to say. They're
Yeah,
actually going
but they're
about
staying
it
14
pretty
days.
well so far.
No, I know.
They're
They have
containing
to
it
stay-
everywhere. Like everyone's just like it seems like
What's Trenton-
protocols are very more common for this kind of shit now. 'Cause
Well,
we've gotten to a point in society where we've already
you
been
gotta
through
make
some
sure.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like now no one's taking any chances, and it's like the
No.
people that are even got it seems like they're not like this asshole fucking yelling it out and like you know what I mean. It doesn't actually have it. They're actually obviously it's gonna suck for you, but you got to take that.
Well, what's that airport? Trenton Airport. That's the one
I
up
don't know.
north. I think a little bit more. They're in there. They got them sitting there for 14 days. But I bet you the accommodations there'll be half decent for them. Because they're bringing them back from China. They have them there.
I would
They're
hope.
Canadians. I hope
Yeah.
they're better. I mean, they're on a military base, so I'm pretty sure. that-
Trenton, yeah.
right. I'm pretty sure that they'll take care of them. They'll bring them Timmy's if they need. I can understand that, but. Yeah, what would you do, dude, if you're on
I
that
don't know.
fucking boat and everybody on that boat got sick and every single person on that boat got sick, bro? What do you think they would sink that ship?
No, they're not gonna sink this shit.
What would they do?
I don't know.
What would they do? The only reason I ask what would they do is because now
They would have to come down with
you got
helicopters
3,000 people on a
and
boat.
fucking
You got 3,000 people on a
what
boat.
are they
whatever it
doing
is.
now?
They're sitting in there, just sitting.
Yeah.
They're like, gotta wait 14 days. The boat is the quarantine.
Then they got to do what they got to do. Yeah.
But what if
exactly.
everybody after 14 days had the virus and they can't cure it? It's not curable. You can beat it, but it's not curable. I mean,
Then when they get brought
no
in,
medication.
they're going to somehow transport these people to fucking medical centers without spreading the
I watch too many
virus.
of those fucking movies. What are they? Nonfiction?
What do you think? They're going to bomb the fucking
They're gonna
boat?
just
Is that
light
what
it
you're
on
getting
fire,
at?
yeah.
Yeah, but maybe.
They're gonna light it on fire and that's it. Up in smoke, buddy.
Yeah.
There goes the virus. But I do not want that to happen to nobody. But you wonder about society nowadays and how fucked up our politicians are. You never know, man. You never fucking know. They might just.
Well, no,
do it.
they talked about publicly about how they didn't want people to get racial with this whole thing.
I'm not trying to be racial. There's more than.
No,
just,
I'm saying that was discussed
Yeah.
though. I mean, by I think Trudeau or whatever. Right?
Oh, yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, they brought these people back. Okay, they're Canadian citizens. There's only 14 of them. They're Canadian citizens.
I will say
Oh,
though,
there's not 14. There's 30. I think there's 30. Sorry,
Yeah.
14 days.
I will say though, a lot of people that are out there in fear of it, or possibly that just wore the masks as like some sort of thing that they do, because we talked about it on this show months ago. We talked about we didn't really understand the trend of people wearing masks around the city, and that was before this whole virus thing happened. And now I think the people that are wearing masks in light of all this, they are getting a lot of attention towards them, probably unwanted attention as a result of it, because now people are kind of scared of seeing the people with all the masks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they're not making it any easier on themselves by doing so. But if that, that's their right. If
That's
they
what
feel
makes you
like they
feel
want to, yeah,
comfortable.
exactly. That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Right.
I can't blame them, but I can also understand where the optics on that is if people see people with masks walking around, they're going to be a little wary of
nervous.
coming near you, right? So you can't really, I wouldn't say like I wouldn't call someone racist if they don't want to be near someone with a mask, because like who the fuck knows, right? You never know, but
Well, the doctors, like I said, I was down there again today. I had to go for a follow up from last week.
Yeah.
And like I said, they're very, very, like, eminent about it. You have
Yeah.
a fever, you have
Absolutely.
you have a cough.
there's
any
a
little thing.
process,
Yeah.
man. They know what they're doing.
Even
That's what
when
I
you
mean.
get it, even if you lie about it, when you get into their room,
Yeah.
they still do that. They do the check right there. They check
Yeah.
right away if you have a fever, man. Regardless, just because they don't usually do that, but because of this whole thing, the outbreak, they're just being extra cautious. That's all.
No, nothing wrong with that. And just practice good hand hygiene, guys. Like, honestly, that's all it takes. You practice good hand hygiene, which we should be doing already. You know what I mean? Like as a society, then you shouldn't be worried about this stuff, right? You know, it's just common sense. A lot of it. There was actually some things floating around on the internet that I saw, where it actually said it was like divided. It would say truths and myths about the coronavirus. It actually was helping break down what some things that are being said through media or just word of mouth, which ones were true and which ones were false. So it helped break. I seen somebody post it. It was actually very helpful. I wish I had it up in front of me right now, because it was one of those things where it was like, you know, just by making 3 or 4 points about false things and true things, it kind of brought you just made, yeah, absolutely, and just made you that much more informed of what it really is and what to expect and how to go about it, right? Not I mean, yes, it is getting a little bit scary, though. Like we just said, there's a bunch of Canadians on a flight coming back. There's a bunch of Canadians on a fucking boat in the middle of nowhere that have it. So it is spreading.
I just don't think it's spreading as crazy over there anymore. I think they
built a fucking hospital in 8 days.
I told you, bro. You live in a communist country. They tell you what to do. You're gonna do it, bro. Otherwise, you don't eat.
Yeah.
Your family doesn't eat. You don't. That's the way it works, bro. And then they're told what to do. They're told you build a hospital in 8 days.
I think Canada needs to take a fucking note from that. Honestly, bro. No, but like, listen.
No, when it comes to work ethic, yeah, seriously.
No, this is what I'm trying to say. You got a fucking maintenance on the highway that takes all winter, for fuck's sake, all year long. It's like one thing, bro. The fucking highway shit and like just construction in general, it takes years and years of, like, it seems like people just want jobs. That's all it is. People are just fucking the dog.
And I'm not trying to be racist. I'm not trying to, but they did a lot of. They used a lot of
8 days.
A lot of Chinese people, like, oh, was it Asian or Chinese? I don't know how you go by whatever. But they used a lot of them to build a lot of things back in the day, in mining.
Mining, yeah.
Railways.
Yeah.
They had them working, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if those guys already have a tunnel halfway dug across us from underneath.
No, but that was the thing that was big for slavery for Canada. You know how like everybody talks about black slavery. We used a lot about we did. That is true. Yeah, you know if
we paid them probably a little better.
But there was a time where we kind of
just give them this bomb here. Go in
no
there,
comment.
I don't know.
That
is happens.
That is a part of our history, though. No, that is a part of the.
That was the worst part about. I remember
railroads.
Watching they would show those what do they call that?
History minutes or whatever. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And they would show the guy. They give him the little container.
That's right. That's right. I remember which one you're talking about.
Walk it into the thing, right? And then the next thing, all of a sudden, the thing blows up.
Yeah.
The mine blows up.
I remember that. Yeah. Canada Minute or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah.
History by the minute or something.
Yeah.
It's like that seizure one.
There was the Superman one too. Where they showed that the guy who drew Superman or whatever,
Soprano or whatever, right?
Well, they were Jewish, but I think like when the idea was conceived or something, because they're from Chicago, I think those guys, Joel Schuster and Jerry Siegel. But one of them at the time, I guess, gave a drawing to his maybe Canadian girlfriend or something. Remember that he was getting on the train and he like handed it to her. I forgot exactly the exact story, but for whatever reason, he was in Canada at one point, so they were trying to attribute the Superman drawing.
They've done all kinds. They've done the basketball one, where
the hoop at
makes a hole in the
apple basket.
So you have to put a.
I remember those. Those were good. If anybody remembers those, hit us up. Let us know in the comments.
The burnt toast one.
Oh yeah, that was the one where the woman smelled burnt toast. Yeah.
Everybody gets their misconception. Everybody that smells burnt toast is having a seizure. No, not everybody.
Don't you put it in your mouth with the rats? Remember that one, the puppets?
Oh my god. I forgot about all those, man.
No.
Go back
sorry.
Don't
you put it in your mouth was other puppets, but there was a rat one.
Yeah.
There was one with rats, and then he found a needle, and he's like, "Don't touch that needle, son." I
don't think I've seen it, but
there was one with rats.
I'm gonna have to go back and check the historic moments of Canadian history moments.
Canada Minute or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, Canadian history moment or whatever. It's another Canadian history moment brought to you by Nico and JT.
This fucking this tea is heating me up here. I'm getting hot here.
No, it's this fucking room.
Mixer.
I told you, bro. That's that fucking mixer. Once you turn that mixer on, it gets hot. Why do you think I had to?
Our viewers have to see me sweating.
Why do you think I had to put my Superman logo on? Because I just want people to see. I know they like to make fun of me.
Here, let's quickly get into it though, because we're almost reaching the end here. The Outsider.
What did you think, bro? What did I
Loved
tell
it.
you?
Loved every fucking minute of it. I watched the first episode of
Yeah.
the show, guys. There's about 5 episodes out now. It's the Stephen King book based on Stephen King's book, The Outsider. It's on HBO right now. Jason Bateman's in the show.
It's a fucking awesome show.
I don't
dude.
want to spoil it because it is still fairly early.
My dad goes, that's what I was doing with the. I goes, I was reading it. Right?
It is fucked, everybody.
It's a newer one, though.
Yeah.
It's a newer book. It's
Yeah,
not
2
one
years
of those
ago.
old books.
2 years ago,
Yeah.
2018. Yeah,
Yeah, and what? Go on, keep going. I gotta look
it's
up
just
his
fucking-
net
it's
worth. Well, you
crazy.
remember we were talking the other day.
400,000.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah, look it up because that's what it was.
That's fucking crazy.
But it's crazy, guys. It's like basically like a murder mystery show, like in a way. Like there's a kid that's found dead in the woods at the start of the show, and Jason Bateman is accused of the murder, and that's all I'm gonna kind of say. I don't want to get into it much more of it, but there's a mysterious guy that basically has framed Jason Bateman in this show in the first episode, and it kind of just goes off the rails from there. Honestly, one show in, try the first show, everyone. If you haven't watched it, you're not sold on it. Watch the first episode. You'll get hooked. Like the first, when it aired on TV, they actually aired the first 2 episodes together, which I thought was very smart because you're fucking totally in after that, man. Maybe even watch the first 2, actually. I take it back. But even the first one, I was like,
Yeah,
whoa. I'm
first
like,
one
this
is
show
just
is fucked. It
puts
just
to a
goes off
halt.
the rails. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, you're right. It's 400 million roughly.
Yeah, that's
But
insane.
that only shows. But that says only over 350 million copies of his novel. They don't even talk about what they use his novel for, all the extra shit, all the movies that came out this year. I don't even know, bro. Like, this is just basing on his novels. I don't even think it's based on his books and screenplays. Are usually fall into the genres of horror and fantasy, gothic, suspense. I don't know, man. I think that's only his books because he's been doing books since how long? And what is the IQ of 40? Is that a high or low?
40?
Yeah, that's his IQ.
Isn't that low?
I don't know, bro. That's what I'm trying to figure out. His IQ is 40. They had came out in Maine. See?
High IQs are like 100 and something, man. How is that possible?
Because he's
That
not,
must be
dude,
a-
he look at the way he dresses. He doesn't have to have an IQ, bro. He just has to be able to write a book. He has to have an
He
imagination.
scored 40 as a teenager. That doesn't fucking mean anything.
Yeah, but look, even if you're 51 to 70.
See, typically a score as low as King's indicates considerable intellectual and cognitive impairment. Well, that's like, I won't use the word because it's apparently
Well,
offensive.
You're talking
now.
about you're gonna
Mentally
say
challenged.
mentally,
Yeah.
So
That's why I'm like, are you sure that's not a typo?
that's right.
What is he,
These
stoned when
include
he wrote
morons
it?
who had IQs of 51 to 70.
Imbeciles. Yeah, that's like the technical term or something. Look up.
Is
It
it?
it says
Imbeciles?
25 to 50.
Yeah.
Idiots. 26 to 50. Imbeciles are 51 to 70. What the fuck?
And idiots are who score 0 to 25. Given a score of 40, he's an imbecile.
Yeah.
That's real.
I
bro?
would say that about Stephen King.
Maybe
He
in
seems
high
like an
school,
imbecile. Yeah, that's what I mean. He was probably stoned or something, man. What the
Well,
fuck
look what
is
he drew
that?
at 29, bro.
Is that a
he drew,
penis?
No, he drew that at 29. That's his fucking depiction of a drawing, an early plot of the Stand drawing by.
Is this
himself.
bullshit? What are you
No,
reading?
bro.
This is like clickbait, this thing that you're reading.
No,
Who the
man.
fuck is this that's saying this?
There you go. It is maybe.
Yeah. I droop. What the fuck kind of. Hey, don't listen to this.
But this is
You can't
just gonna
believe
prove a
anything on
point
the
now.
internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You can't believe everything you prove. Hey, Nico, anything, not everything. See?
Anything. I know what I said.
No, I know.
You can't believe us. You can't believe this. The Outsider show, though, guys, is fucked. Man, this thing's crazy. This
Yeah.
right? How good is it,
Yeah.
Jay?
It
It's
is. I've watched all
crazy.
5 episodes
Me too.
already. So I mean,
I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
Bro, I had to go to bed one night. I'm like, you ready for another episode? It's like fucking 1 in the
Yeah.
morning. I have work the next morning. I'm like, we gotta watch another one.
I know, man. It's like you got to catch up, and then you're screwed now. We're screwed for a week.
The afternoon. That's exactly what we said too. We were upset when we reached the 5th episode. We watched one before the Super Bowl, for fuck's sakes, and I was like, I gotta watch this show, man. The 5th one's aired. I was like, gotta watch it.
Yeah, you'll probably have 2 sitting around after.
That guy who was in it, the guy who plays the detective,
Mm-hmm.
he's great. I've seen him in other things too. He's really good. That guy.
With the lisps?
Yes.
with this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't do it. But he's dead. No, it's a trade.
It's faint though. It's like a faint.
No, it's there, bro.
He's got a weird voice though. I think that's just
Yeah.
his voice. I think he has a weird voice in most things that he does. To be
Yeah.
honest with you. Yeah.
I don't know what else he was in. I know.
I seen it. He's in that. I don't know if you ever watched it. This is one with like it's like a fucked up family. Christine watched it. Bloodlines. You ever watch that show?
I've heard of it. Why did I hear
He's
of
in
it?
that. It was another HBO show. I think he was in that. She watched the whole
might
thing.
have
She
watched
liked
it.
it. Apparently, it's really good. It's like about a fucked up family, and he was in.
Everything's a fucked up.
Yeah,
family.
right. Both families.
Yeah.
And then he was in a movie
Bloodline.
called Killing Them Softly. With
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, he was in that. He was the drug addict, he like crackhead guy.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah. That was with Brad Pitt and Gandolfini before he died, right?
Yeah. The what about the thing? I know you watched the Star Trek ones.
I didn't watch it yet. I want
is
to. No, I didn't get to watch it yet. I'm going to. Yeah,
You'll get to watch it eventually.
yeah. Picard.
Yeah, that one I've already caught up on. I bet you there's probably the episode. It's always out 2 days early, man. It seems it's like one of your favorite shows there.
Power.
No, not Power. Your old favorite shows there.
That Power is my favorite show, but I know it always comes out early.
Your old Walking Dead there. They come out. It's always like 2 days early on the TV. I can watch it Friday night, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. Don't ask me why, even though it only comes out Sunday.
yeah.
So, yeah, but
Basically, this guy that framed him, though, it's weird. Like most
I
Stephen
don't know
King.
who's framing who. Like, I don't know where he is. I'm trying to figure it out still.
That's why I don't want to
lost.
spoil anything, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you couldn't really even spoil it for you guys if we wanted to, because it's like we're still unsure of what this person is. Like,
It's like the first chapter. 5 episodes is like one chapter.
I will say, like almost all Stephen King things, there is a supernatural element, but what's nice about it is it's not full frontal. Like, it's not like all supernatural element. Like, they're slowly inserting weird stuff into it.
Yeah.
So it's very grounded murder mystery
Yeah.
with a little bit of supernatural stuff going on in the background, which I kind of like, because I think that's why I don't love every Stephen King thing, is that it's a lot of the same type of themes, like the supernatural type stuff that he
yeah.
has. And what he does very well. But I think that when you have it's all supernatural, I'm just like, it's less believable to me. You know what I mean? Like, but when there's like a little bit, like the way they're approaching this one, it's very believable, is what I'm saying. Like, what was going on? Like, they're treating it like a you know, like real life
But yeah,
like,
well,
situations. Like, that's what I mean.
think
Like,
his stuff is getting better now, and then you're just seeing more stuff being put out onto. I mean, how old is he? He's got to be in his 60s or
Yeah,
70s,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I mean, really, I think it's nice to see a lot of his stuff still going out. You know, remember, he doesn't have to think of very many things. He can think of, he basically everything takes place in Maine. Is basically
A lot of it, yeah.
around his hometown he bases it on. So he
this one
doesn't-
isn't though.
but he doesn't have to really think outside the box when it comes to that. He just has to think about it when it comes to actually is the carry the vision. Like, but to have all that in your head and just come out with a 400, 500, 600 page novel.
He puts out like a book a year though at this
Even
point.
more, I think,
yeah,
man.
probably.
He probably got nothing else to do but write. It's typing. He probably just talks now. He's probably got this and he just talks into it and it types it out for him.
Yeah,
I mean, he probably doesn't have to write anymore.
yeah.
I mean, dude, after writing 350 million after writing how many novels?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure your hand doesn't work as great as it used to, even if you're typewriting.
He's got to be like 100 books in now or something, right?
Oh, I don't know. You would have to ask your better half because I'm pretty sure she would know more about that.
He's got to be close to that.
Between
who's
the
written-
old and the new.
You know
and
who's
the
written a lot of
miniseries
books?
and stuff
R.L.
like that?
Stein. Goosebumps. Bro, he has.
But
He's
it's
written
all
like
little
hundreds
series,
of books.
right?
Yeah, it's not like full-length novels, but that's...
But this
yeah.
guy has Stephen King has them both. He has
Yeah.
full novels. He has miniseries. He has
Novellas.
mini novels. Yeah, like
yeah,
you call them.
novellas.
Yeah, sorry.
Short
Proper terminology.
stories.
What did you call it? Novellas. I was almost
You
going to
couldn't
say
even say it. That's...
Milli Vanilli or something. I don't know where the hell that came from.
Oh, God. See, I don't even got to try with you anymore. You just say ridiculous shit on your own. I'm just like, I don't even got to bring it out of you anymore.
Oh man. So, but yeah, other than that, I think there's going to be a lot of good TV shows coming out this year.
Oh, this was great.
Not just music. I think it's going to be a good year for everything. And, that's when you'll never see me because I'll just be sitting binge watching TV shows. That's the fucking problem. I'm running out. I don't have anything new to watch anymore. I've caught up on just about everything.
Did
It's
you watch that
driving me
Avenue?
nuts.
Did you watch that Avenue 8 that I told you about,
No,
or Avenue 5?
you don't
I
end
forgot
up
what it's called.
ever telling me about anything good.
What? I never end up telling you about anything good.
No, don't you? You don't even watch much stuff. You're reading books most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I try to tell you about stuff. You just don't listen. That's the
No,
difference.
because you don't even know what name you told me. See?
I think it's Avenue 8. It's a new show. It's kind of like Star Trek on a
Oh
cruise
yeah, I
ship.
remember. You
Star
told
Trek
me
on a
this.
cruise ship and everything fucking goes wrong.
There's a
and it's
joke,
got Hugh
yeah.
Laurie's on it, the guy from House. Like, he's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
good
yeah.
on it.
You told me about that last episode.
like
I'm pretty sure.
everything goes wrong, like from the get go. It's like they're all stuck on a cruise ship in space, and something occurs on the first
cruise ship.
episode, and they're supposed to be at home in 3 months, and now they're not going to be back for like 3 years. Like they get knocked out of orbit or like whatever their pathway was.
Okay.
And as a result of like some fucked up events that happened on the ship, like one thing that led to another, ended up taking them off track. It's a comedy, and basically, so from the first episode, you just find out they're fucked, and like everybody on the ship like hates each other, and the people that run the ship are shitty. And Hugh Laurie's using an American accent, but he's like not actually American. He's faking that he's a captain, like he's not like a real captain. Yeah, so it's,
He always fakes his accent. He
Yeah.
doesn't have an accent.
no, but like he's got an English accent, so like he's
Yeah.
actually using it a bit in this show.
Oh,
So it's
okay,
actually
okay.
it's fun. He kind of goes dips
Not
in
like
and out.
House.
No, he uses the American accent, and he also uses his actual voice.
So they're stuck on a cruise ship in space.
Yeah,
See what happens? You can get stuck on a cruise ship in
there
space.
you go.
You get stuck
And
on a
everyone's
cruise
got
ship in Earth.
coronavirus. No,
That's it, man. No, that's it. And I don't understand. Could you imagine? Like I said, maybe they'll just take that, they'll lift it up, and throw it into space. That cruise ship after.
yeah, there you
No?
go.
Maybe we'll make a new TV show for you. I don't know, man. Everybody in there got to stop being all so paranoid and no hate and all that shit towards this shit. It's gonna go away. It'll pass once this fucking weather gets better.
Did you end up watching Watchmen?
No, I didn't end up watching. I tried to.
Apparently, that's really good.
I tried. I think I watched maybe the first episode,
You got to watch a couple to understand what's going on. I was
Yeah.
told. Yeah,
but that's a book, right?
it's a comic.
Another
Yeah, it's
comic?
one of the most famous comic books ever written, and
Right.
you don't really need to know anything about the comic to watch it though. But it
It's
helps.
not part of anything.
It's part of Watchmen. It was one series.
Yeah, you say like what my old man says when I ask him. It's not part of anything else. And
It's its
part
own
of this. Yeah, it's okay. So
Its own
that's
thing.
its
It
own
was a
thing.
12-issue comic series. That was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because when I ask him, he goes, it's its own thing. It's a Watchmen. It's Watchmen. I go, what's a part of? It's part of Watchmen. Well, okay, I get that, but like, is it a part of like the Batman thing? Is it a
It's
part
not.
of
It's
like
its own. It's its own world.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure
Yeah.
out, right? That's all I was trying to figure out.
Although the thing I talked about recently, I told you I promoted it last episode on the Death's Door thing.
Yeah.
Was a modern series that they put out where the Watchmen universe of characters crosses over with the DC universe. So you got Batman.
See, now you're confusing me.
See, now that was a new series called Doomsday Clock. This is what I'm trying to say. So
I
so
get you.
they've tried to reuse the same IP, like the same intellectual property, to make more money off of it now.
Okay.
But the creator of the book, Alan Moore, who's the writer, I don't know how much you guys care or Jay cares, but I'm going to tell you.
Oh, but I've heard his name a million times.
Yeah,
when you
Alan
talk.
Moore.
Yeah.
He's also the guy who has like he didn't create him, but he has one of the most well-regarded runs on Swamp Thing. So like Swamp Thing became famous because of
of him?
Alan Moore. He
Okay.
didn't create the character, but he put his spin on it. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen movie is based off a comic that he did, but don't ever watch that movie because it's a fucking piece of shit. But he's one of these creators though that he created these Watchmen characters, which are actually based off of these older characters, Charlton characters from like the 40s or 50s or some shit.
Okay.
So he kind of did his own spin on it and took those characters and made like his own versions of them and made this book called Watchmen. And it was during the late 80s. It was when comics became dark and gritty and for adults. Like it was a big game changer between that and the Batman Dark Knight Strikes. Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
Yeah, which was a big thing. So anyways, but he's one of these creators now that has totally disowned his fucking, like, anything that they do with the show or the movie that they've done, because Watchmen was a movie as well. He basically just ignores it. Like, he's one of these creators that's very outspoken and apparently doesn't collect any money from any of the shows or movies that have come out from it. Like, he refuses to collect the checks from that because he doesn't want anything to do with it, and he feels that it's a masterpiece,
Okay.
and they shouldn't have fucked with it.
Okay.
So it's just one of those. He's just one of these weird, polarizing kind of figures who's very opinionated and like is basically like now just recently said he's retired from comics, and he's one of these guys. You know what I mean? Like he's hated. He hates DC. He hates Marvel. He hates fucking everybody for. He hates a lot of people in the comic industry for what they did to his work. You got a way back playback for us here?
I just went. I've been trying to think of that song that I don't know what the fuck I was thinking of the other day, man. I was there and I had listened to it like 3 times in a row, and I cannot fucking think
Gotta write
of it.
these things down when you.
No,
when you
but
come
it
across
was
them.
on because I played it on random,
Yeah,
and I heard it and I threw me right the fuck off
yeah.
because I like it.
Do you remember who it was?
Oh man,
Oh well.
that's the part that's killing me.
Do you want me to give you another minute here, or do you want me to
No,
throw
go
something
ahead.
on?
If you want to throw something on, go ahead.
All right, get it?
I think I got. I think I'll have one on the next episode. Really.
All right.
The way it worked out. Remember how we had it worked out this
That's
week?
true, yeah.
I think I might work out that way. 'Cause you do
Okay,
2 in
I'm
a
gonna
row.
play something by Royce.
Is that who it was? It may have been D12.
Oh, D12. There's lots of great songs from
But it might have
D12.
been something I can't just. But yeah, go ahead. I can go with Royce. So it's got to be.
I'm gonna give you an old Royce song though right now with a really sick sample. If I can actually find it, just give me a minute here.
No, but what I was saying was that there. That's a new Royce.
This is new, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, what I'm gonna play isn't though. Just one second.
It's just fucked up because I have so much music on this fucking phone that I don't know what is where anymore. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
I have like fucking, how does it say when it comes to song wise? Like 3,000 songs,
I'm sure that's
Yeah.
really interesting for everybody. but-
3,200 songs. Like I really give a like I could really go through them all in my head right now. No, I'm just trying to think of what it was. I know it was on an album, but I just can't remember.
Yeah, as I reload this because right now the fucking thing froze on me here.
Of course.
What else do you got to say?
What else do I got to say?
Yeah.
Besides, nothing. Right now, at the end of all this, no, I think this week has been.
This is a really good show actually today.
We've done-
Yeah, we
we've
actually
actually
flew.
done-
This is one of our better shows I think today.
No, but
Actually,
we've done
really good
we've
job.
done quite a bit in the last week, right? So it's kind of been throwing me off a little bit, right? But we figured it all out. I think we got it all worked out,
Right.
right? Where it's actually sounding good, right? Not sounding good, sorry, but even though we talked like 3 or 4 fucking times already today, not today, this week,
Right.
Yeah, we can still figure out shit to play. Like I still can't figure where the fuck was it, man. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to kill that. It looks like I'm looking at my phone like those, but I'm just trying to find that fucking song. I don't know if it was on my actual thing or not.
Okay,
It might not
everybody.
have,
This
but
is
Nico's got one for you
this
guys.
is Royce the 5'9". If the quality's a little off, I apologize because I'm just playing this off the internet because my iTunes basically fucking froze on me. So that's how reliable they are. But this Royce song, I just really, really love the sample too. It was like a weird, like it's an older track of his. This has got to be from back in the day. Before this is probably maybe after M,
Is
but
that the one you were gonna put right here now?
no,
Oh.
that's not it.
Just because I seen it there. Sorry, that's what threw me off.
Yeah, but it was one of those songs that because of the beat and like it's one of my favorite fucking Royce songs. And yeah, it was after M, prior to probably him reconnecting with them during that period of time where he came out with his album Death is Certain, which if you guys haven't heard is like a classic fucking album. I don't know if this song is off that album. I don't think it was, but it was around that same era. It's called Boom. And like it's a really well regarded song for Royce fans. I think it was like one of the standout tracks from back in his career when he kind of went solo after the whole M thing kind of fell through and that
Yeah.
didn't work out for him. and he was putting out a lot of good quality music around that time. But he was also like full blown alcoholic at that time too. And like if you listen to the Death is Certain album, that was the album during the period of time where he was beefing with Proof back in the day from D12, and there was real fucking shit going on between those two to the point where Royce couldn't even like go outside the house like in Detroit, because Proof was like ran deep in Detroit even more so than Royce, I think, at that time, and Royce is fucking from there too, right? But it was just one of those things where they even had this these videos they used to put out called Beef, where they would talk about all these like beefs in hip hop and stuff like that. And they interviewed Proof and Royce on that actual documentary. Me and P used to watch it all the time, and you would just see both of them. Like D12 was just talking like pure shit about Royce, and Royce was basically like, yeah, you know, shit went bad, and it's like we don't talk no more. I don't even fucking do shit anymore. He's like, you don't see me outside the house and all this kind of stuff. And Royce was just like, but then Proof put out a song against him. Royce made a bunch of shots about him on this album, and Death is Certain, and it was just a really good period of time for his stuff. This is when I actually really became a Royce fan, was during that period of time. Even though M was not down with him anymore, and D12 hated on him, he actually put out a lot of really good music. So listen to that album. But last off here is Boom by Royce da 5'9". Do you something you want to say?
Yeah, so you want to explain to everybody why they call him 5'9"?
That's how tall he is.
What happens when he gets older and he shrinks?
They call him Royce da 5'8". Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time. This is Royce da 5'9". Boom for you guys.
Booyah.
Later.